Hello traders and welcome to the Friday wrap-up, January 29th, 2016. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, great to be with you. End of our trading week, time to relax a little bit, enjoy the sunshine and get outside, even if it's cold. Who cares? Get out there and breathe some fresh air. It's good for you. Alright, traders, the purpose of this video is we are going to talk about daily charts. Daily charts. We'll talk about price action and possibly what we can expect in the week ahead, as last week was very, I don't know, how can you say what was last week? Interesting, to make it easy. Well, for those of you who don't know who I am, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilda. I'm your moderator for the Friday wrap-up. And also, every single trading day, the market opening preview, which is brought up every day before the London Open. Traders, like I said, my name is William Gilda, and I've been trading from the year of 2006. 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic. And 9 days later, came to Thailand to celebrate my wonderful career. I was only supposed to be here for 3 months. Well, I'm in my 8th year here living in Thailand, absolutely loving it. And to tell you the truth, the hours is really the biggest advantage, other than the people and the good Thai food. But yeah, it's I don't have to get up at 2 in the morning to trade London. It's quite nice. I was living in the state of Florida and doing that midnight trading and then working full time was quite tough on you. And learning at the same time. So yeah. So
it's 15 hours.
I trade the charts and I trade fundamentals, but I don't trade the numbers. In other words, I don't trade when a number is released. I wait about 40 minutes and see if I can trade that trend. Hopefully that data came out within the trend of that chart. I verify that through higher time frames, lower time frames, and then I might enter the trade then. That's how I trade data. But I'm a technician. I love trading technically. I love trading charts, price action, price structure, support, resistance, using Fibonacci. I use 2 indicators. I use Ichimoku clouds and I use harmonics. And you know, using those tools, I hopefully come up with a solution on what my bias is and where I'm going to trade and set up my trade plan. You know, I believe you should be in front of your charts at least an hour to an hour and a half before a major market opens, if that's the market you're going to trade. I trade all three, so I'm in front of my charts pretty early in the morning, and I'm only in New York for about 3 hours at the max. 2.5 hours brings me to about 11 p.m. And I'm up at 5:36 in the morning, so I don't do a lot of New York. I actually I trade a different instrument. All right, let's get started. Let's get the legal stuff out of the way. We've got a lot to talk about. I've got over 15 charts to look at today, so let's get moving. This is our Forex disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's go over to this week's commentary. I just want to talk about last week for a little bit. Really don't want to run this video too long. We're not going to talk about how the market's closed. Like, that's old news, really. But I just want to talk about last week. So, I think it was the economic minister, Amari, had to leave the cabinet from Japan, Prime Minister Abe's cabinet, due to a bribery charge. And from what I've read, and if you just Google it, there's plenty of articles on it, this guy's basically caught red-handed. And, oh, excuse me. So it doesn't look good for him. I mean, so he left like in a blunt, and away they go. Then they said they weren't going to raise interest rates, and what did they do the next day? They were right. They didn't raise interest rates. They lowered interest rates to negative, right? So they're negative interest rates in the yen pairs. So the yen is very fragile at the moment. So Monday's going to be really observation Monday for the yen pairs. Let's see how the market reacts to this. This data did come out early, so all three markets should have had this data before the close of the New York session on Friday. So it's, I think we got some good trading in the week ahead, and it's NFP week already. Can you believe it? We are back to NFP week next week. Next Friday we'll have our NFP numbers coming out. So quite a busy week ahead we have, and I think you're going to be pretty interesting to watch some of these charts as we look at them. Now remember, they're daily charts that we're looking at, and the main focus of this is price action. That's the main focus of this. What's our bias and what are we going to do? So let's get started. We've got plenty of charts to look at today, and let's take a look at the euro dollar. This euro dollar, I mean, this is a great chart, and this just describes how unpredictable the euro dollar is. This is in a nasty range, realizing that these are daily candles, and some of these candles are over 100 pips. But, this is in a nasty range. It's a no trending action. It's all over the place. I mean, it's had some up days, and I'm like, well, really, most of last week was up days, right? 4 days, except for Friday, was an up day in the euro. And I'm trying to say to myself, why is the euro strong? I mean, they have no good news. They have no good data. They're forecasting by next year this time they'll be below parity. I mean, it's just amazing. Not that I listen to that, believe me, what they're forecasting. But my point is that the euro should be dumping like a rock, and instead it's been in this nasty range. This is probably 2 months worth of candles right here, and it's just been in this nasty range all over the place. And Draghi's just, he's just stirring the pot, which he does very well, by the way. He's very good at that. So let's take his counterpart. We'll go to the dollar. Swissy dollar. The Swiss is, man, if you're going to trade something, buy anything against the Swissy, and you'll be fine. The Swissy is just so weak. It's been that way. We talked about this last week. Had a mixed week this week, but Friday the dollar really took off and the Swissy just tanked. And if I'm not mistaken, that was data that came out on the Swissy's part. I'm not 100%, but I think they had data on Friday. The U.S. session had a lot of data come out, so it could have been the dollar that took over some. I got to be honest with you, I'm not too sure where that was at there. And I wasn't Friday session, by the way, but when New York opened, I was teaching a webinar, so I was not on my charts when New York opened. So, like I said, the Swissy is very weak. Anything against the Swissy is what you want to do. Buy anything against the Swissy, and you'll do fine. Here's a pound. Pound's just really basically had a waterfall here, and now is in the last. I'm only really interested in the last 5 candles, right? So it's been in this range, right, for the last week, and it's been up and down, and every day's been a different candle color. So we don't know what's happening with the pound, or if it's going to stable out, or if it's going to continue to dump here, or what's going on. So if you're going to trade the pound, just be real careful. But I would expect this. You can put a trend line on this daily chart on those 2 wicks and see if this breaks that trend line to the downside. I would expect this to continue to go down. This to me looks like this could be a correction. If you'd fib this whole swing, you're probably at the 23.6 fib right now, but I would expect this to continue to the downside. So I'm very bearish in the pound dollar. Here's the dollar yen. Again, this is all due to the data. This is a data candle from Friday, with them lowering interest rates to below zero. I think everybody said negative. It was the negative interest rate. So, this is what this is all about. Look it's amazing how that 200 exponential moving average works, folks. This is going to come back. I'm telling you, this is going to come back. This is going to continue to be strong in the yen, and it's going to come back. Every time they do an intervention or do anything, it never works longer than a week, and then we're back where we started from. So I want to sell this. I want to sell this going into next week. Again, I don't have a dollar index chart on this platform, so I look at this as far as the dollar goes, and we would say we're looking that the dollar is bullish. However, I do think the yen is going to pull back, and I do think we're going to continue to the downside. So I'd be looking to buy the yen again. This is like a great opportunity to buy the yen. Okay, across the board, not only the U.S. The dollar yen, but across the board, this just looks like a great opportunity to go in the other direction. Absolutely. Let's take the dollar CAD, and when you look at the dollar CAD, all you think about is oil, and so oil went up $2 and what was it, 36 cents at the beginning of Friday. I don't know how it ended on Friday, but it did have a spike up there. I think it actually went up to $32.29. Last thing I recall. So oil goes up, the CAD gets strong, and that's what you're seeing here. When oil decides to go back down again, we're just going to get a reversal here. This to me looks like a correction. If you fib this swing or you fib the whole swing of the whole chart, this looks like we're going to end up at a fib number, and we're right now on support for the last 2 days. Thursday and Friday, it's closed above the support area, so we'll see how we go on Monday. But as far as this goes, I would want to be buying dollars against the CAD. I'm bullish on this. I'm not bearish on the dollar CAD. Here's the Aussie dollar. Strangely enough, this is a bearish pair. It's been a bearish pair for a long time. It's come up to that resistance level that we talked about last week, and it stopped straight in its tracks. And you can see Friday ended as a doji. So this had its 2 weeks of up moving. I expect this now is going to continue to fall. I expect it to continue to go back down, and we'll see how this works. But I don't expect this to continue to rise. I really haven't looked at what data is coming out next week, except for NFP is the big one that we have to worry about. I'm not sure if we have Draghi or Yellen speaking. I'm sure they're going to speak somewhere during the week. But this is pretty interesting to watch. This Aussie dollar, but like I said, I want to sell. All I want to do is sell this, and this to me looks like an opportunity to sell. Friday closed at a doji. We're at resistance. Go to your lower time frames and look to enter this to the short side. I don't know why I've got two. There we go. Here's a Euro Aussie, one of my favorite pairs to trade, and when it's in its trend, it works great. And this is a perfect example of that. Monday had an update. Look at what happens on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We get indecision candle, indecision, then a decision candle on Friday, but stayed making profits to the downside. So I'm bearish on this. I'm bearish on the Euro Aussie, and I think it will take out this resistance probably on Tuesday, and I'm looking for this to come back to the 200 exponential moving average. That's where I'd like to see it come back to, and that'll be at 50.35. So, that's where I'd like to see this come back to, and I think that's going to happen. And at this 200 exponential moving average, we're going to get a significant bounce once again. And if you look left to the chart, you can see it's done it several times. All right, let's keep moving. Let's get it over to the euro yen. Now, this pair acted kind of funky this week. Had a week of upside on the euro yen, and I think that again was all due to chatter about the yen. But again, I don't understand why the euro is strong. I just do not understand this at all. There's nothing positive coming out of the eurozone, folks. The only thing that's positive is it seems like Greece is settling down, Spain is in profit, but other than that, the rest is like horrible, right? There's nothing positive coming out of the eurozone. I just don't understand why the euro is so strong. And I definitely, if you look at this is over a week, all these blue candles to the upside, and we closed that gap finally. All gaps get closed. Well, it got closed, right? And this is really, really interesting price action right now. This is a great chart. This is why we do this Friday wrap-up series, because this right here tells you that we want to sell this, right? I don't want to buy this. I do not want to buy this euro yen. It spiked at resistance, right? That's an indecision candle. It's got a huge wick on it. It's probably the same size as the body, maybe a little bit bigger. You got a wick on the bottom, wick on the top. It's an indecision candle, and I expect this to fall now. This is a great opportunity to sell this. And so my bias going into next week is we are going to look to sell this, absolutely. Look to take this to the downside. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the pound Swiss. Anything with the Swiss I want to buy, so I want to buy this. I just want to buy this. Even though the pound is weak and the Swiss is weak, and that's probably why we're in a range. Of course, we have weak against weak battling out each other, right? The pound is weak, the Swiss is weak. It's like trying to put the heads of two magnets together, right? And here we go, and we've got this, for the last 6 trading days, we're in this range. I wouldn't trade this right now, because they're both weak. Which one are you gonna take? Where are you gonna go with this? If you look at the chart spatially, you'd want to sell this, right? You'd want to buy the Swiss. Buy the Swiss, sell the pound. So you would be selling this pair. You'd be selling the pound. If you look at this technically, right? You want to sell this, but we know that the pound and the Swiss are both weak. So we want to really watch this, and this can stay in this range for a long time. I don't see any changes out of either one of these pairs. So I'm I'm not really interested in keeping this pair on my watch list throughout the week, other than it's interesting to see, right? That's really the big thing. Let's take a look at the pound yen, an interesting chart again. Here's the pound falling off the waterfall here, and in the last 7 trading days, different color candles every day, and we've got an indecision candle that closes on Friday. Right? I think we're going to just head back to the downside. If I was trading this daily chart, don't even think of it as a daily chart. Think of any time frame. If you're going to trade this, I would fib this whole thing from the 200 EMA all the way down to that red doji at the bottom of the page and see where this closed at. What fib number did this close at? And I would say it's either the 23.6 or the 38.2 fib, and I would watch that real close, because to me this looks like this is just on its way to the downside, and it's just going to continue to be bearish. And that's how I would trade the pound yen. I'm looking for this to continue for the downside. And for those of you who trade harmonics, which I encourage you all to look at, I mean, it's just a tool, right? And there's no, just take a look at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have some sort of a pattern here that we are looking to take this probably to the upside, but I would think that this is going to change now, right? This probably had a reversal pattern in here someplace. X, A, B, C, D, maybe? So maybe it's coming back, possibly? I don't know. Something to look at, something to think about. We haven't closed this gap. Might come up and close this gap. I don't think so, though. I really do not think so. I think the yen is going to be strong again. I think it's going to be where it started before they decided to lower interest rates. Here's the Aussie CAD. It's not a pair that I trade on a normal basis, but it's not a bad pair to trade. The Aussie is strong against the CAD. The CAD is extremely weak, and all you got to think about with the CAD is oil. That's all you just got to think about. If oil prices are up, the CAD is strong. If oil prices are down, CAD is weak. Simple. So against the Aussie is stronger than the CAD. So, you would think we'd want to be buying this, right? But what happened in the last 3 trading days? Yeah, oil started moving in the opposite direction, started going up, right? 50 cents here, $1 here, right? Then dropped back down, then went back up, right? And on Friday had a powerful day, and what do we end up with? We end up with an upside candle here. However, this is also, if you drew a horizontal line under those 2 candles, the last 2 candles on the chart, you would see you're at support, right? If you look at this technically, and I would expect to bounce. So I would just fib this from that red candle above the 200 exponential moving average all the way down to the red candle at support, and see where this is at, and see what fib number we're approaching, and where we should start looking to take this to the downside. Now, all you're doing is you're just planning what you're going to do on your lower time frames. Remember, these are daily charts. I don't trade daily charts. And if you do trade daily charts, my hat's off to you, because I wish I had the equity to trade daily charts. You have to have some pretty good equity to be trading daily charts. But if you're trading daily charts, you did really well this week. I mean, this pair right here, made your daily bread plus, right? So, yeah, interesting as it is. But I'm looking at this as, what am I going to look at on a 4-hour chart or a 1-hour chart or a 30-minute chart where I enter and exit my trades? How am I going to look at this? And seeing these daily charts really helps us out when we're looking at that, right? Here's our good old Aussie yen, another one of my favorite pairs to trade. And again, here we are, and I just want to sell this. This just looks like a great selling opportunity. We're at resistance, and we just want to take this to the downside. Not much to talk about. Can't pound the yen and the Aussie too much, right? Let's take a look at New Zealand dollar, one of my favorite pairs to trade. Fell off the mountain here, off that 200 exponential moving average. But the Kiwi got strong all of a sudden, and we ended up with the dollar strong and the Kiwi strong. We ended up with that magnet effect. Right now we're in this nasty range. So going into next week, I'm saying, well, what am I going to do? Well, technically, if you look at this chart, we're bearish, right? This is a bearish chart. And we're looking to sell this. Right, Friday ends on a doji. I mean, you can't get no more neutral of a pair than that last candle, that daily candle is a doji, right? So, I'm looking to sell this and take this to the downside. Absolutely. So I'm bearish still on the New Zealand dollar. And I have been for like 2 years, for years. Same as the Aussie dollar, right? They're just bearish, right? All right. Last one I have up, believe it or not, is I put gold back up there because gold is the talk of the town. So oil's up, gold should be down, and well, sort of, kind of, maybe. You know, we have a red candle here. We got an indecision doji candle here. What's going to happen? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't trade gold. I'm not interested in trading gold. I think it's way overpriced. I think it should be at $800 an ounce. I've been saying that for years. $900 an ounce is reasonable, but gold is definitely not worth $1,100. You know, I just think that's crazy. So yeah, I'm looking. If I was going to trade gold, I'm looking to sell it. I want to sell this. I don't want to buy it to gold. But this is, you know, you just got to watch. Usually gold and oil are opposite of each other. But the market's kind of strange lately. You know, it's not book texts anymore. You know, and it's really people talking and what's going on in other places. Now I think the Saudis and Iran came up with a deal last week where it was Iran has limited its production to a certain percentage. I don't remember what it was. So there's a lot going on with oil, which is going to affect your gold, folks. Believe it or not, it does affect your gold. Okay? But yeah, I'd be looking to sell gold. I'm not looking to buy gold at all. Not at all. And that's our last chart of the week, my friends. And that is the gold chart. All right, traders, thanks so much for being with me on your weekend and getting ready and doing some research, getting ready for next week. And hopefully you have a great trading week, NFP week next week, so it should be volatile, and that's what we need. That's how we make our pips. On behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL, Excellence in Trading. Thanks again, traders, and have a great weekend. And we'll see you on Monday for the market opening preview. And that's always up before the London Open. Take care, my friends. I'll catch you next time.